Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. General Hospital teasers for the next 2 weeks, June 2nd to 13th, predict that the judge's custody judgment will be followed by a showdown between Willow Corinthos and Sasha Corbin. Jason Morgan will also obtain new information, so let's discuss what's in store. Christina Corinthos Davis will have a lovely reunion with Michael Corinthos between June 2nd and 6th, ahead of his upcoming custody battle. From there, chaos will ensue in the courtroom. Michael is scheduled to testify and may face questioning regarding the paternity of Sasha's baby, after Nina Reeves allegedly tells Rick Lansing. When everything blows up, Carly Spencer will go over the entire situation and confront Jason about the false baby daddy plot. Since it appears that Michael cheated on Sasha and got her pregnant with his child, she will be concerned about his custody chances. Willow will be prepared to strike with Rick's assistance, but she may wonder how Rick learned about the paternity twist. Nina will have a confession to make, and she may tell Willow how she figured it out. The judge will finally decide who Wiley Corinthos and Amelia Corinthos belong to, so Michael, Willow, and Drew Kane will wait for the major decision. Meanwhile, Curtis Ashford and Portia Robinson will go about finding down Jacinda. Jacinda is expected to play a role in neutralizing Drew, so her homecoming could be the reason he receives some unpleasant news. Alexis Davis will have to answer Laura Collins' queries about the missing $10 million from Ace Cassidy's inherited riches. Laura will also catch up with Sonny Corinthos to discuss the Giovanni Gio Palmieri reveal, Michael's custody conflict, and other topics. Cody Bell and Molly Lansing Davis will become closer, and they may soon share a kiss. Other GH spoilers claim Dante Falconeri will tell Rocco Falconeri that Gio is his half-brother, and Lulu Spencer will have to explain her role in the secret spilling. Of course, Lulu will face Brooke Lynn Quartermain's wrath as a result of how the Gio drama unfolded. While Jordan Ashford and Professor Henry Hank Dalton get to know each other over cocktails, Anna Devane will question Jack Brennan about important information. Because Anna will provide Jason with updates in the aftermath, may they go a step closer to determining who blew up the penthouse and attempted to kill Sonny in Los Angeles? Elizabeth Baldwin will be caught off guard at her home. Lucky Spencer will most likely reveal Christina's car sabotage operation, and how it resulted in the problem he's staying silent about. Lucky will then become introspective and accept something painful. There's been a lot of chatter about Lucky's unwillingness to settle down, so may he be tempted to leave Port Charles again? The aftermath of Willow and Michael's courtroom pandemonium will be felt from June 9th to June 13th. Whatever the outcome, there will undoubtedly be more strife between them, especially after Willow learns that Sasha is carrying Michael's baby. Willow will undoubtedly have a battle with Sasha sooner or later, so will Nina wind up playing referee? Regardless, Nina must proceed with caution because Sasha is aware of her passionate sessions with Drew. If Sasha discovers that Nina revealed the paternity secret, she may react by spilling Nina's secret next. Gio will have to deal with his identity dilemma. Gio will struggle to find a new path forward, but Brooke Lynn, Dante, Tracy Quartermain, and many more loved ones will be there for him when he is ready. General Hospital spoilers predict the next 2 weeks will be full of highs and lows, so stay tuned. What else happened on GH this week except everything? There was not a single wasted minute or scenario that did not hold our interest. We haven't had a so-orgasmic week like this in a long time, and it doesn't appear to be slowing down. The reaction to the Gio reveal was everything we could have dreamed for and more. A retcon adolescent pregnancy that no one asked for, which would permanently tie Dante and Brooke Lynn, was initially met with hostility, but it has now become one of the most riveting stories we've seen in years. It's produced some of the best drama we've ever seen on GH, with performances that tore our hearts out, made us angry and made us fall in love. Brooke Lynn's agony, Lois' terrified grief, Dante's perplexity, Olivia's rage, Lulu's justifications, and most notably Joe's simple disbelief have left us stunned all week. We've had the same writers and producer for years, but last week they decided to make a proper soap again, claiming that they've always known how to do it. We'll concede that GH has progressively improved since the nightmare of a year ago, but we didn't expect this. After years of tale build-up without a meaningful payoff, we were expecting the worst, but for once that was not the case. There were just 4 episodes this week, but each one was packed with power. There is a lot to unpack, so let us begin now. There's been a lot of debate this week over who was more to blame for the Gio debacle and how Gio discovered who he truly was. Fans appear to be most upset with Lois and Lulu, and our favorite Port Charles pals seem to agree, particularly Brooke Lynn. Lois lives for her kid. When she discovered she was pregnant in the 1990s, she decided she didn't want her child to grow up amid the Q clan, due to their frequent backstabbing and chaotic behavior. So she decided that her grandchild, too, needed to flee. Throughout the process she kept Brooke Lynn and her son close, but she never told Brooke Lynn. Brooke Lynn now refuses to associate with her. At the moment we don't blame her. Brooke Lynn was accurate about a lot of things. Why wouldn't Lois tell her and Gio the truth after Camilla died and Brooke Lynn was an adult? By then, she would have been able to decide whether to add further upheaval to Joe's life or leave things alone. Something tells us Brooke Lynn would have preferred to be his mother, but Lois did not offer them the option. Brooke Lynn isn't the only one upset with Lois. Ned is devastated since he had no idea his adolescent daughter was pregnant, and Olivia is furious because she watched her own grandchild grow up without knowing he was hers. Dante hasn't even reached Lois yet, but when he does, we can't wait. Dante did make it to Lulu, and things did not go well. Honestly, she deserved everything she received. We don't believe Lulu wasn't attempting to get back at Brooke Lynn for this incident. Lulu repeatedly misjudged Brooke Lynn, reigniting their enmity until she discovered Marty's notes from Lois. 4 years hadn't passed for her, but they had for Brooke Lynn, a woman who had experienced numerous beneficial developments. When he ripped at Lulu, Dante simply stated what he saw. She had no business becoming involved in this mess. She had been told this numerous times, yet she did it anyway and now refuses to face the consequences. Even during her post-game conversation with Cody over beers that her new liver would not appreciate, Lulu believed the matter would resolve itself and everyone would be happy. The truth was out there. If there was some early emotional distress, it was a little price to pay for Dante's newfound knowledge of having another son. Cody did not seem to think so, and he gave Lulu some food for thought. By the time Dante arrived, the meal appeared to have gone in one ear and out the other. Lulu was shocked that Dante was so harsh to her. She did not go out to discover his son. No, she just took notes and scribbled what she knew in question marks as she stared at her computer screen, pondering her next step. Lulu was either lying to Dante or to herself, because her loud mouth set everything in motion. Lois may have told the first lie, but it was not up to Lulu to expose it. Yes, this is our weekly tribute to Tracy Angelica Quartermain, the new GH matriarch. Our acerbic Q queen has recently become the heart and soul of her family, and this show, and we couldn't be happier. The look of disbelief on her face when she discovered Gio was her great-grandson was breathtaking, but nothing compared to what happened next. Tracy's humanity shined through when she mentioned having 2 kids, a grandson, a granddaughter, and a great-grandson. We were taken aback as she automatically moved about the living room showing Gio what was his, including a photo of his great-great-grandparents, Edward and Lila. She then made Gio weep, which caused us to cry as well. When she put her palm on Joe's face and he silently broke down, we wanted to scold her for doing that to our dear son, but the moment was too amazing, as is Tracy. This week, GH also decided to finally move forward with Emma and Gio. It feels like the beginning of an old-fashioned soap opera youthful summer romance. The type we grew up with and may require in our lives when middle age and real life get us down. The scenes on the footbridge made us laugh. GH actually went there and utilized the footbridge for its original purpose, to make a boy with no past and a girl with no future fall in love. Or, at the very least, the cousin of the boy with no history and the daughter of the girl with no future. It's where Jason and Robin fell in love, and Carly has been occupying that place a little too much for our liking in recent years. It is now known as Emma and Joe's footbridge. We were expecting for a lovely little summer on the run story, but it appears that those expectations have been crushed. However, they might return to the footbridge for their first kiss. Get on it, GH. Oh, that's correct. Michael Quartermain Corinthos resurfaced this week as a new guy. Literally. This Michael is not much like the last Michael, and not only in appearance. This one is more reserved, intense and less tense. This does not remind us of an extension, Carly. Instead, he appears to be his own man, who will hopefully be more autonomous than his domineering mother. Michael is not going to put up with anything from Willow, or anybody else for that matter. Has Dark Michael joined the chat? If so, he is very welcome. We've already seen the relationship between Rory Gibson and Sophia Matson, and we want more. It's time to see what Misha 2.0 can accomplish. The custody hearing that begins next week will determine whether they have what it takes. Oh no, Willow had a sad week. The children she sought to use as leverage when her husband was near death in an ICU burn unit are now with their recovered father, not their psychopathic Uncle Drew and their nitwit mother. How could Michael force her to pick between her children and what we believe is the best sex she's ever had? Or else would she even be with Drew at this point? Michael does not want me to be happy. Wah! Does anyone cry more than Willow? Is there anyone who deserves to cry more than Willow? Probably not. When she broke down outside Carly's front door, we could only sigh, nod and giggle. Drew was in the bed when the girl made it. Now she has to lie in it. This undead girl is beyond help, and we are finished with her. She truly gave her cult leader Lila Quartermain's engagement ring because he instructed her to. And he stated they'd save it for Amelia rather than his own kid, Scout. That leads us to another question. Where the heck is Scout? She played in the same number as Wiley, but Drew took off with Willow to get Wiley and Amelia, leaving Scout at the Metro Court? Did she take Uber home? Scout is a poor person. This week on General Hospital, the earth-shattering events of the nurses' ball continued to have an impact in Port Charles. Lois verified to Brooklyn that Gio was her son, and attempted to explain how she and Gloria worked to ensure that her kid got to a loving environment. BLQ then stated to Dante that she was young, and had no idea what to do when she discovered she was pregnant, and she didn't realize Gio was their son until the young guy announced it on stage. Willow and Drew watched helplessly as Michael removed Wiley from the ball. Sunny asked Nina to make sure Willow knew how creepy Drew was. Tracy returned home to discover the horrible truth about Gio. Gio was heartbroken, believing his entire existence had been a lie. Cody told Lulu that he believed they had made the wrong decisions. Trina and Kai danced between the sheets. After questioning a bartender, Nina began to piece together that Michael and Sasha were together the night he discovered Willow had cheated on Drew. BLQ and Dante tried to inform Gio that they didn't realize he was their son, but the enraged young man fled with Emma. Dante confronted Lulu. Olivia was unsure whether she could ever forgive Lois. Drew and Willow informed Mac that Jason and Michael had kidnapped Wiley and Amelia, but Mac discovered Michael had a court order that granted him temporary sole possession. Dante asked Lulu if she was the one who informed Gio the truth, but she understood the youngster had overheard her conversation with Lois about it. Dante raged at Lulu, telling her that she was simply making matters worse by meddling. He claimed that she did what she did to make Lulu appear awful and make him want her back. Lulu was appalled and informed him that they would never be more than friends. Michael told Willow that every time he spoke with Wiley, the small child questioned when he was returning home. Emma consoled Gio and vowed to be with him wherever he went. Willow was given an ultimatum by Michael: dump Drew and move out or she would lose access to her children. Drew and Willow decided to work together to uncover evidence to discredit Michael in court. Drew refused to let Willow return Michael Lila's ring, claiming he had every right to own it. Sasha and Jason agreed to keep up the ruse. Tracy was terrified to learn that she and Sunny were now related by blood. Carly wanted Curtis to launch a media attack on Drew, but he declined because Michael owned Aurora and stated that he was working on another approach. Nina told Ava what she had uncovered about Michael and Sasha, but she was hesitant to utilize it during the custody hearing for fear of betraying Sasha. Nina assured Ava that if Willow was granted full custody of her children, she would never leave Drew. Alexis had Christina and Lucky give her information from the night of Rick's accident. Curtis informed Portia that he was going to do something Drew couldn't: find Jacinda. Gio informed Emma that they were returning to the Quartermains to find answers. Brooke Lynn informed Lois that she did not want anything to do with her. Gloria then entered the scene and told her granddaughter that if she wanted to attack her, she should. Laura told Alexis she was concerned that a large sum of money was missing from Ace's trust. Lucky told Elizabeth that he knew more about her accident than he had previously revealed to her. According to General Hospital teasers, Jason Morgan will face criticism from Carly Spencer over the Sasha Corbin baby hoax. There will be some thrilling drama soon as Michael Corinthos' mother responds to the paternity scandal that is developing. Fans of GH are aware that Willow and Michael Corinthos are preparing for their custody court and divorce. Several episodes will focus on Willow and Michael's time in the courtroom during the week of June 2nd to 6th. According to the most recent spoilers, everything suggests that Sasha's unborn child's true father will be revealed. It appears that Nina Reeves will provide Rick Lansing with the information he requires to make this shocking discovery in court. Carly will undoubtedly discover that Jason has been concealing a huge secret. Although Jason generally dislikes lying to Carly, there was one occasion when he felt compelled to do so. Carly will continue to believe that she should have been informed, even though Sasha and Jason agreed to keep the true paternity a secret for Michael's benefit. Jason was honest with Danny Morgan from the beginning, and Carly will undoubtedly believe that she also deserves the truth. But Jason couldn't risk Carly messing things up because he knows how she can be. Carly will still be upset and incensed even if Jason tries to explain why he kept her in the dark. Given that this secret won't even be a secret, that is especially true. Carly may become even more irate about the whole issue as the paternity cover-up is ready to fall apart. Carly could believe that if she had known the truth, she could have done more to keep Michael safe. Carly will still be angry by Jason's dishonesty, even though she should partially respect what he attempted to do for Michael. Following the hearing, Carly will likely become irate and corner Jason for a confrontation in which she will demand explanations. Stay tuned for all the exciting news that lies ahead as General Hospital spoilers indicate that the custody case will continue to take unexpected turns. As Carly Corinthos let loose her rage on Jason Morgan, her longtime friend and ally, the tension in Port Charles reached a breaking point. After weeks of mounting tension, the altercation broke out in a furious outburst that left onlookers speechless. Never one to hide her feelings, Carly expressed how betrayed she felt by Jason's recent behavior, especially his role in the major paternity scandal involving Michael Corinthos and Sasha Gilmore. Their families had been rocked by the aftermath from this disclosure, which had destroyed trust and strained relationships. As she stood toe-to-toe with Jason, Carly's indignation was evident, and her voice trembled with a mixture of hurt and rage. "What prevented you from telling me this?" With accusing fire in her eyes, she demanded. Jason, who is usually unreadable and stoic, looked at her with a composure that only served to increase her annoyance. Even though he had always been a man of few words and preferred action to justification, his silence felt betraying this time. Carly had relied on his faithfulness through innumerable crises and had complete faith in him. She was caught off guard now and wondered if their relationship had ever been as strong as she thought it was. The revelation that had just shaken Michael's life was the cause of Carly's rage. He had loved and trusted Sasha, but she had been concealing a terrible secret that raised doubts about the child's paternity. Michael was reeling from the revelation, his feelings vacillating between anger and grief. Carly, his mother, was intensely protective, and she became enraged when she saw her son suffer. She held Jason accountable for failing to warn her, and for failing to intervene sooner to stop the destruction that now threatened to destroy Michael. Jason, on the other hand, had good reason to remain silent. His complex relationship with Michael's father and Carly's ex-husband, Sonny Corinthos, had always put him in a vulnerable position. In their world, loyalty had two sides, and Jason had frequently been caught between opposing commitments. Carly, however, had no use for justifications. For her, this was about family, not simply devotion. She would do everything it took to protect her son Michael from more suffering. In the meantime, Michael's mother, whether that be Carly or another mother figure in his life, was experiencing emotional turmoil of her own. She had to face her past transgressions and remorse because the paternity issue had reopened old scars. Her response would be tinged with remorse and unresolved rage if this were about Michael's birth mother, Nellie Benson. As a skilled manipulator, Nellie's legacy still haunts Michael in surprising ways. Should it have been Carly, her maternal instincts were triggered, causing her to confront anyone she thought may jeopardize her son's happiness. Sasha was trying to save what was left of her relationship with Michael when she was stuck in the middle of the storm. The truth had a tendency of coming to light at the worst possible time, even though she had never meant for her secret to cause such devastation. She begged for understanding, demonstrating her desperation, but the damage was already done. Once trust was lost, it was difficult to regain, and Michael felt duped. Other significant figures in the story added their voices as Carly went on her tirade against Jason. Ever the watchful parent, Sonny struggled to balance his desire to help Michael with his commitment to Jason. Family came first, even if the two men had been brothers in arms for years. Because of his difficult past with both Carly and Jason, Sonny's arrival injected even more stress to the already tense situation. Elsewhere, Michael's current wife Willow Tate watched the carnage unfold with sorrow. Even though she had supported Michael through innumerable hardships, this most recent catastrophe put her resolve to the test. Willow found herself in a precarious situation as her allegiance to Michael and her sympathy for Sasha clashed. Michael had always relied on her calm strength to keep him grounded, but now even she appeared unsure of how to handle the situation. Wide-ranging effects resulted from the paternity scandal, which revealed long-suppressed grudges and covert connections. Sasha's adoptive mother, Nina Reeves, became embroiled in the conflict, and her own complex past with Carly fueled it. This most recent dispute only widened the gulf between the two women, who had been embroiled in a vicious quarrel for years. Old animosities were rekindled when Nina fiercely defended Sasha, putting her at odds with Carly. One thing became brutally obvious as the dust settled. This scandal would have far-reaching consequences. Trust had been destroyed, relationships had been shattered, and the emotional cost was incalculable. Carly's tirade against Jason was only the start, a sign of the conflicts that will follow. This felt different from Port Charles, which had always been a place of secrets and betrayals. It was a personal matter. The future was unknown for Michael. He was left to pick up the pieces when his life's foundation was rocked. Was their love forever ruined, or would he be able to forgive Sasha? Had this treachery permanently broken Carly and Jason's friendship, or could they mend it? What about Sonny, Willow, and Nina? How would they handle the eroding relationships and emotional ruins caused by the paternity scandal? Time would tell. However, there was no doubt that the drama was far from over. The next explosion was always imminent in Port Charles, where the stakes were always high. Emma went to the Q living room and yelled for Gio. As Emma inquired about his well-being, he ran down the stairs while carrying a rucksack. "No, I just found out that my mom wasn't really my mom. My dad wasn't really my dad. My entire life is a lie," he said. Emma insisted on accompanying him even though he wasn't sure where they were heading. Exhausted from her night at the PCPD, Tracy entered as they were about to leave. Then she realized something was wrong. "I can't believe Drew framed me and then had me arrested. He's not going to like what happens next. And Jason leaving me stranded at the police station," she complained. She questioned Emma and Gio. "What are you doing here? You should be at the nurses' ball. What's wrong? Do you know how you like to remind me repeatedly that I am not a Quartermain?" asked Gio. "Vaguely," said Tracy. "Well, the joke's on you, Tracy, 'cause it turns out I'm family after all," he replied. Gio informed Tracy that his parents were Dante and Brooke Lynn, leaving her speechless. Tracy uttered the words, "It was you. All this time. You're my great-grandson," while speechless. Gio tried to get away after grabbing Emma. Tracy commanded in a low voice, "No, don't go. Don't take another step." Emma vowed to tell Tracy where they were and insisted that Gio leave. Tracy said, "Thank you, but you need to zip it." When Tracy questioned why Gio thought this, she was still gathering her thoughts. He claimed to have heard Lois mention that his parents were Dante and Brooke Lynn. "I understand, Gio, that this is very upsetting, but you don't get to come in here and say that you're family and then just waltz out the door. Because you're my family." When Tracy heard the news, she choked. She pulled out a photo of her parents and introduced Gio to Edward and Lila. "I have 2 sons, a granddaughter, a grandson, and now you tell me I have a great-grandson," she said. Then she put her palm on Joe's cheek and said, "Gio, everything in this house is yours. Don't push us away. This brooch. This belonged to Lila," she said. In the Metro Court Gardens, Brooke Lynn caught up to a distraught Lois. Brooke Lynn asked her the most important question, but Lois called for Gio. Brooke Lynn said, "Don't even consider lying to me. Is Gio my son?" "Yes, he is," a heartbroken Lois informed her, causing Brooke Lynn to tremble with disbelief and tears. Lois tried to explain, but Brooke Lynn was unable to even look at her. Your grandmother and I thought we were doing the right thing. You said you wanted your baby to go to a loving home. But how could I keep that promise if I didn't know the family? So we decided to keep Joe close. We were only trying to look out for your child, and that's exactly what we did. No child was ever more loved than Gio was. We made sure of that, Lois continued. Brooklyn told Lois she was having trouble breathing and almost passed out. As Brooklyn calmed down, Lois offered her a drink of water. Lois began at the beginning when Brooklyn requested her to tell her everything. Gloria was aware of Camilla's intense desire for a child. When we told her our idea, she was thrilled. We were offering her the opportunity to be a mother, Lois recalled. It was like a dream come true. I could look you in the eye with absolute certainty and tell you that your baby went to a loving home, she said. When Camilla passed away, Lois said, she had wanted to tell Gio and Brooklyn the truth, but they didn't want to shock him any further because Joe's entire world had just come apart. Brooklyn sat silently with tears running down her cheeks while Lois sobbed and rambled, pleading for mercy. After saying, Brooklyn, you have to believe me. I was trying to do the right thing. Lois was followed by Dante. He questioned, for who? The right thing for who? Brooklyn aggressively interrupted Lois as she attempted to speak with Dante. The only thing she uttered after glancing at Dante was, I'm so sorry. Whispering, so it's true, Dante said. That summer, Brooklyn became pregnant, but she wasn't sure how to tell him. Dante replied sympathetically, were you scared I'd be upset or embarrass you or something? I was young. I was scared out of my mind. I felt so scared and lost and didn't know what to do. All I knew was that I couldn't terminate my pregnancy, so I had the baby and gave it up for adoption. And I swore I'd never tell anyone. I swear, until tonight I never knew the child was Gio, she said. Prior to his outburst with Gio and Rocco a few weeks ago, Dante was as sensible and mature as ever. We clearly have a lot to talk about and figure out, but look, we gotta put all that aside because we got a son and he's in trouble right now, stated Dante. At that moment, Tracy texted them to inform them of Joe's location. When Lois attempted to accompany them, Brooklyn refused. Every time you use the word we or us, I want to crawl out of my skin. It was my baby, Ma, Brooklyn said. You pretended I was the one who was calling the shots. Meanwhile, I had nothing to do with it. When Lois attempted to grasp Brooklyn's hand, the latter angrily yanked it away from her mother. Brooklyn spit out, get off me. What you did was unforgivable. She sobbed as Lois started crying uncontrollably. You lied to me, your own daughter, for 22 years. You lied to Gio, my son. Dante, Dad, Olivia, Granny, the list goes on. Stay the hell away from me, she said. When Ned walked up to her, Lois quickly gathered herself and sat quietly, thinking about what had just transpired. He only glared in silence. Gio started crying as Tracy continued to tell him about his family back at the Q house. Tracy persisted. Look, nobody can classify the Quartermaines as perfect, but we're your family, she remarked with pride. I get that this isn't your fault, but I had a family. I had a mother who I loved more than anything. A mother that I lost. And now I find out that was a complete lie. The family that I do have now, they're all a bunch of liars, so you'll have to excuse me if I don't jump on the Q bandwagon, he said, as Brooklyn and Dante were walking into the room. Amelia was already at Grandma Carly's when Michael informed Wiley outside the Metro Court ballroom that they would be having a sleepover. Willow and Drew attempted to pursue him, but he departed with Wiley. Then Jason showed up and told them not to. Willow inquired as to where Michael had taken Wiley, but Jason remained silent. When Nina, Carly, and Josh showed up, Willow answered the phone from the sitter informing her that Michael also had Amelia. Michael asked Jason to drive Amelia to her home. Jason informed Carly. Willow yelled at Jason, you had no right. You took my baby, as she left with Drew in tow. With the exception of Sunny and Nina, everyone left. Nina pleaded for her ex-husband to listen to her. Sunny, can you talk to Michael? Make him see that a compromise is what's best, she inquired. Nina, nobody wants a battle. But until or unless Willow gets away from Drew, this is the way it's gonna be, Sunny said. Then Sunny became serious. Given that Drew has destroyed Willow's life, Sunny questioned, is there any way you can get her to see that Drew is not a good person?